Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Tuesday, 21st January 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi. This is the day that the Lord has made, and of course, we will rejoice and be glad in it. We will give God thanks for life and for all that He has afforded us. Indeed, we do acknowledge Him as the one who has enabled us to be here this morning and to be speaking with you, bringing information to you about things happening in and around the Tobago. It's always our pleasure, and we take it as a privilege that you have chosen us and made us your number one choice for morning show here on the island of Tobago. Whether you are in your kitchen making your morning coffee, in your garden, or getting yourself ready for work this morning, we say thank you so much for choosing us this morning. We do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire program this morning, go through the conversations, leave your comments on our Facebook live stream and our other platforms. But before we get into all of those conversations, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. Tobago Business Chamber Chairman Martin George expressed disappointment over the updated coat of arms passed recently in Parliament. While supporting the steel pan replacing Columbus ships, George criticized retaining the coquelicot, Tobago's national bird, calling it loud, destructive and purposeless. He urged Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to replace it with the hummingbird, which he deemed more fitting. Despite this, George praised the inclusion of the steel pan, celebrating its symbolic importance and recent global recognition, including World Steel Pan Day and its designation as Trinidad and Tobago's national instrument. Up next, the Caribbean Community CARICOM will send election observers to Trinidad and Tobago for the upcoming general election following the government's request. CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett confirmed readiness to arranging an observer team in January 13th letter to the Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Rowley had requested this delegation on December 11, 2024, after announcing his intention in Parliament. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar also called for independent observers. Barnett emphasized CARICOM's commitment to supporting democracy, the rule of law, and good governance across member states holding elections in 2025. And to some international news, Donald Trump has been inaugurated as the 47th President of the United States, marking the return of Republican control over Washington and initiating plans to overhaul the nation's institution. Awaiting Trump's signature are dozens of executive orders aimed at curbing border crossings, boosting fossil fuel production, and dismantling diversity and inclusion initiatives within the federal government. In Trump's second inaugural address, he pledged transformation and national success, vowing to expand U.S. territory, end foreign wars, and deliver a sharp critique of the existing political order, emphasizing a vision of bold and renewed strength. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And of course, Inauguration Day was yesterday, and as we are aware, a lot of executive orders are being signed. In fact, he started signing as early as yesterday.
Yes.
And he will continue within the first week in office. And I mean, whatever happens in the Western world, especially in the United States of America, it affects and impacts our lives right here in Trinidad and Tobago. We might think, what does that have to do with us? But I tell you, it does have a lot to do with us. So we have to, just pay attention to what is happening in the outer world and how it will trickle down to us here in Tobago.
Yes.
Speaking about things happening here in Trinidad and Tobago, yesterday we spoke with Inspector Dexter Miller. We were talking about that incident that took place in that secondary school in Trinidad. Between the altercation between the student and the teacher. And of course, social media is a place where people place their opinions. They might give an eyewitness account, persons who might have been there, and we're seeing where the brother of the student was talking about their family situation there. I also saw a post from another teacher. He said that he was teaching at a secondary school, and there will be fights there almost every day. And his approach would be, I am going to walk away, because if I don't, the same might have happened to me. What do you do? What are the policies where fighting is concerned? And these are some of the things we really have to discuss, because corporal punishment has been removed from schools, as we're aware. And as far as I'm concerned, when that was in school, there was no way a student was even thinking of disrespecting a teacher. So what are the policies? What do you do? Does a teacher get involved in a fight? Do they try to part the fight? Do they walk away? Do they call on somebody? Is there somebody for them to call? What is your position where this is concerned, Biana?
To me, it's a situation of damn if you do and damn if you don't. Because what exactly is the role of a teacher in the school? Whether it be, if it is to part a fight or not, or is just to teach. And as the teacher would have rightly said, is it that I see a fight and I turn my back? What are the responsibilities of the teacher? Is it, the question is being asked, should a teacher intervene in a school fight?
Maybe that should be the question for our viewers this morning. Should a teacher intervene? But more than that, are there policy guidelines? You know, sometimes, not sometimes, the education sends their teachers on training, but this is for content in terms of what do you teach in the classroom? How do you make the teaching experience more enjoyable for your students? How do you plan your work? But do they train them in terms of how to deal with, well, this is more than a conflict. This is more, I was going to say conflicts, but I'm sure they do, but this is more than a conflict. This is something that is a physical entanglement. Is there any type of training, any type of discussion? You know, and these are the conversations we need to have with the stakeholders, as it were, where this is concerned, because we can't afford to have, first of all, students fighting in school. For me, I think that's a no-no. And it is very unfortunate that that happens, to the point where if a teacher steps in, they too become part of the fight. That there's no respect for the teacher anymore. You know, back in the day when a teacher walks into a classroom, we would stand. We used to literally, if we were sitting and the teacher walks into the classroom, you have to stand. I don't know if they do that anymore. I don't know if that's a practice anymore. And you know, we have to go back to some of the foundation values that brought up the generations that we came up in, to bring back that level of respect and control in the classrooms, because it is absolutely needed.
Right, and as Officer Miller would have said yesterday, you know, you have to do some background checks. And from reading the post, we're seeing that the brother was stating that the father is not wrong or something like that. I believe that situation is tough for it to be so that, you know, they don't have any parents around. It still doesn't give you the right to fight in school. You understand?
Exactly, and that's the background information helps in terms of knowing what type of support
to give. Need.
Exactly. Even before they get into the school system. So, you know, we have to consider those things as well. As I mentioned, all the stakeholders need to get involved to be a part of the conversation that will bring back a level of respect in the classroom, and also support students who come from troubled backgrounds, or, you know, backgrounds where they aren't exactly 100% comfortable. So we need to ensure that the conversation continues, and we need to ensure that policies are implemented to safeguard the students in the classrooms and the teachers should they have to intervene in any type of altercation. You know, Biana, thank you so much for joining me on set this morning and going through that conversation, and it's a conversation that we will continue here at Tobago Updates Television. Do have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Same to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. This morning we're celebrating. If you do not know the lady who is on screen this morning, you need to go and do some research. This is the one and the only Pamela Nicholson. She is celebrating a birthday today, and this lady, she has done so much for the island of Tobago, a very, very loud and powerful voice in politics and community work. She has done her due for Tobago, and you know, we join in the entire Tobago community. We come together and we say happy 80th birthday to you, Auntie Pam, known by many as Auntie Pam. Happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we pray that you continue to enjoy your days, that you continue to impact lives, that you continue to impart your wisdom into those who are around you. So do enjoy your birthday, do enjoy the rest of the month, the rest of the year. Have a wonderful, wonderful time, and we say God bless you richly and bountifully. Our next celebrant is Miss Gabby Kennedy. Gabby Kennedy is also celebrating a birthday today. And Gabby, we say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life. And we do hope that you have a wonderful birthday season and that the chapters of this book are beautifully written this year. So happy birthday to you. And of course, if you are celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, a promotion, a retirement, whatever you are celebrating, even if we don't have your photos or we haven't mentioned your name, we are joining in the celebration with you. Yes, we celebrate with you as well. And we remind you to put God first and to give him thanks, for he is the very reason why you have something to celebrate this morning. So do not exclude him at all. Who are we speaking with this morning in studio? You might want to know. We are speaking with, this morning we start off the conversation by speaking with Mr. William Nana. You might know that name. He is the technical director of Tobago Updates Television. Yes, what is he coming on to speak about this morning? Tobago Updates, plans and projections. Where are we going? You want to know, especially as our loyal viewers, you want to know what direction we're going in for 2025. And then we speak with Mr. Martin Lumpkin, president of Tutor. We're speaking about protecting our teachers in our schools, as we mentioned earlier this morning. And then we wrap the conversation by speaking with Senator Lawrence Hislop. We speak about the DIQE rent and lease program. You might be aware of that program that was conducted under that division, which is, we're going to have the conversation to bring you up to date as to what is happening there and the impact it can have on us here on the island of Tobago. So we do hope that you can stay with us throughout the programming, whether you are viewing right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, England, all of Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, wherever you are. Thank you so much. Even if you are viewing on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, on AMPLIA 102, we say thank you. As we go for this short break, we invite all of you to remember, up next we have Mr. William Nana. But before we go, of course, remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
Attention, members of TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Are you ready to take the next step and help shape your credit union's future? This is your chance to get involved. We're now accepting nominations for elections at our 75th Annual General Meeting 2025. Open positions include spots on the Supervisory Committee, the Board of Directors, and the Credit Committee. Nomination packages are available on our website www.twcu.co.tt, or you can pick one up at our Port of Spain or Tobago offices. The completed forms can be dropped off at the said offices or emailed to nominations@twcu.co.tt no later than January 17th, 2025 at 3 p.m. For more information, visit our website at www.twcu.co.tt. Don't miss this opportunity to make a difference. Apply today and guide the future of your credit union. TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Our credit union, one family.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. And thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning in studio. We're speaking with someone who is no stranger to the media industry this morning. We speak with Mr. William Nana. He is the technical director here at Tobago Updates Television. And he's on set with me this morning. And we're going to have a very, very important conversation. Where is Tobago Updates Television going in 2025? Good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Adana. Thank you for having me on the show.
Of course, a pleasure, and Happy New Year to you. I didn't get the opportunity to say Happy New Year.
Thank you very much, and a very Happy New Year to you and everybody in Tobago and all the viewers and all the staff and family of Tobago Updates and Tobago Updates Television.
Thank you very much. We know that you're not a man in front of the camera. That's in the past. We know that we used to host a program way back when.
People still remember before it camp out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you've been in the background, behind the scenes, kind of directing the ship of Tobago Updates Television. You know, having the vision and knowing what the direction you want Tobago Updates Television to go in. And so we're going to have that conversation this morning. You know, starting very fresh, very young on the island of Tobago, something new. To me, a breath of fresh air. Not tooting our own horn, but if I can do that, you know, a breath of fresh air here on the island of Tobago, bringing diversity as to where media is concerned and the kind of content and the outputs that we do here at Tobago Updates Television. And now here we are at the junction of 2025. And of course, the future, where are we going? Where is Tobago Updates Television going? What are your plans? What are your ideas? What is churning in your mind?
Well, you know, before we could go forward, we had to remember the past, because, you know, we had to remember the past before we could go forward. So a lot of people, you know, Tobago Updates and Tobago Updates Television is only around about 3 years, and it feels like eternity, but it's only 3 years we are around. We started on October 18th, 2021, and that's when we on YouTube, Facebook, and we were on another channel partnership with Mr. Peter Siloes and Gael. We used to pay for our content to be on, on those platforms. Then after, in 2023, that's when we have the partnership we had with AMPLIA, and we are channel 102 on AMPLIA. So we moved from the kind of online platform to having our own TV station. And then after, last year was a challenging year. It was a very, very challenging year because, as you're aware, and a lot of people know, we got hacked twice last year. We lost our Facebook page. We lost our Facebook page that we took a lot of energy and work to put in. We lost that, and it's a lot of that was last year. 2024 was a very challenging year, and getting up every day to face those challenges and keep pursuing and moving forward, it was only God and the support of people to make us come to where we are right now.
What is your love? What is the thing that caused you to have this kind of love and passion and commitment, can I say, to media content, the way messages about Tobago are told to the wider world? What brought or sprung that love in you?
I just love to see better. I just love to see better. And I love for Tobago. Basically, it's a love for Tobago, and just a love for Tobago. And that what spurs me on and spurs on the ideas that I have, and everybody here is a love. This is a labor of love. You know that. This is a labor of love. This is a tough job. This is a tough thing to get done. From the outside, it looks easy and, hunky-dory and stuff like that. But, this is a tough job. And every day we are here is by the grace of God. And
you're right. A lot of people look at media personnel and they think that when the lights and the cameras are on, it's all glamorous and look at them and they're having such a good time. But there are indeed a lot of challenges. Technically, there are lots of challenges. Even with this show, sometimes, I might have to sit here and ad-lib.
Yes.
But, you got to do what you got to do to ensure that there's content, right? That's right, for our viewers, and to ensure that there's engagement and that we retain the persons who love Tobago Updates television so much. And we must put a plug here. We really do appreciate all of our viewers.
Correct.
Those of you who stuck with us, even when we lost our Facebook page, when we were off air, a lot of persons were asking, I didn't see you all today. I didn't see you all. What is happening? And we took some time, of course, to get back and we rebuild the page. And you're still with us. And we must say thank you so much.
Yeah.
And what about that gives you the encouragement and the drive to go on?
The support of our supporters and people, family, everybody. This is support, just to keep whatever we're doing here going. Because remember, the mission of Tobago Updates is broadcasting Tobago to the world in the most creative and most high quality way we could. And I think that's something we have been striving to do. And we continue to do every day.
That's right. So we have overcome all of those challenges. We started young, we're babies in the business.
Still babies.
Yeah, we're still babies in the business. We started off, learning as you're going along, even though some persons came in with the skills or at least a little background in, how to get things done. Overcoming all these challenges. Of course, more challenges will arise as once you're alive, you must have a challenge, right?
Correct.
The challenges will come. How do we plan and prepare to move forward from where we are, all that we've been through, where we are, and where we want to go?
Well, today I want to announce, as of midnight last night, we...
The song is familiar, boy.
I just want to announce today, as of midnight last night, I want to welcome all of viewers on Flow.
Ooh.
On Flow. So as of midnight last night, Tobago Updates television is available on the Flow platform, and that's channel 121 and 130.
Oh, congratulations to my Tobago Updates television family.
Yes.
We are doing things and we are expanding. Congratulations. Yes. I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you very much. There's a lot of hard work. So that's that's to the question, that's one of the things that we're doing, trying to get our content out there as much as possible, because other than AMPLIA and we're on Flow now, and our Facebook and our YouTube, we also have we are on Togo Media, which is an IPTV service in Canada and USA, and we are also on the Tele M group out of St. Martin. Not to St. Martin.
We doing things, Tobago Updates Television
Yeah.
doing things. And you know, it wouldn't be possible without our viewers. So every opportunity we get to say thank you to our viewers, our collaborators, persons who show interest and give us that measure of support, we always want to say thank you to you guys, because we know without you, we would have no content to put out. We'd have nobody looking at us or listening to us.
Correct.
And that is why every time I come on here in the morning, I ensure that I say whether you're in Tobago, Trinidad, the United States, because I know that our reach is far. And as we continue to reach people, how much further can we go?
Well, see, again, so that's why it was kind of depressing or kind of hard when we lost our original Facebook page, because when you looked at the analytics in the background, we were reaching Africa, because we had Wodimaya here, and when he was here, he brought a lot of viewers to our page and our content. So we had Africa, New Zealand, Australia, UK, USA, the Caribbean. So I think we are reaching our mandate in terms of just getting Tobago updates and Tobago content and broadcasting Tobago, or culture, politics, news, everything like that, out to the world.
And what is your ultimate dream and goal for Tobago Updates Television? What is the thing that you want to see that you could sit back and say, right, I've achieved?
I'm going to keep that a secret. I'm going to keep that a secret. I'm going to keep that a secret. Internally, we here know what we want to do. We know what we want to do here. So when it happens, people be like, wow, cool. Tobago Updates doing things.
That's right. I will continue to do things. And for me, Tobago Updates has afforded a lot of young people with our internship, summer programs as they come in. A lot of persons pass through Tobago Updates Television, learning skills. Persons who came in without skills. Persons got a chance to operate the cameras, sit in front of the camera and do, a lot of work. So I must say, commendations to the technical staff and the staff here, the management of Tobago Updates Television as well, where that is concerned.
And see, a lot of that is Mr. Ronald Wood, because Ronald is a person that believes in the young people. Because like when we started, we had the Tobago Updates morning show. Then after we brought on the youth show to give the youths a space to air their views and stuff like that. And Mr. Woods runs that and makes sure that is done. Even in the summer internship, because not last summer, the summer before that, we had about 12 kids inside here, and which was a lot, because you had to be responsible for people's children and stuff like that. And even like one of the reporters here now, Miss Jo Shaldan, she passed through that summer internship twice, and now she's working here as a reporter. And congratulations to her, and I know that she's doing very, very, very well. So I know Tobago Updates put a lot of emphasis on the youth, and especially how the society is going now and stuff like that. This is just another avenue for them to express themselves and get whatever they're feeling out there now.
And of course commendations to that. I will continue to do that and give persons opportunities where that is concerned. And the programming, in terms of the types of programs that we have, what was the idea behind bringing on those types of, for instance, this show is so very, in as much as we bring the conversations, in as much as we speak about important topics and we do the research and we have the conversations, we get our viewers into the conversation, we get the answers. It is a little bit relaxed so that people can feel a part of it. What was the idea behind ensuring everybody could be a part of this type of thing?
That was something organic. And if you know me at all, I hate suit and tie. Nobody's ever seen me in a suit and tie. Nobody's ever seen me. When I was in high school, that's what high school. After that, I'm a semi-formal kind of person, and we're in the Caribbean, Latin America, abroad and stuff like that. So it's just to get our content out there in a nice, relaxed Caribbean, Tobago way. Professional, yes, but the content is palatable. You can relate to it.
And that is what is so amazing. Sometimes when we come here, we say we love our job. It's because we really get to let your hair down. You really get to be yourself, bring your own personality, because as you mentioned, it is the Caribbean, and you want to be able to express yourself in that type of way and not be too restricted by certain things. Of course, you have to follow policies and guidelines.
Correct.
You have to ensure the information is relevant, it is fact-checked, and that we, even if we make mistakes, there's an apology that will follow.
Correct.
So we stand on the principle of integrity here at Tobago Updates Television,
And, that's very, very, very important, especially in this season and the times that we are living in. Fact checking and being very accurate to the information that we give out is very, very important to us.
That is absolutely right. In terms of collaborations, further collaborations, can we talk about that, or is that a secret as well?
Well, that's kind of a secret as well because like everybody is not a secret. This year an election year. Then after the election, we're going to a THA election. So collaborations inevitably will happen. When that time reaches, the information will be disseminated to everyone who will be partnering with, etc. Because an idea is to get the information from Tobago out there. Because one of the things that shocks me, and even when you all tell me, is like the diaspora, the Tobago diaspora, that the people who look at Tobago updates, even like your previous host Julian and stuff like that, he says when he goes Trinidad and stuff like that, like people recognize him, and even like the opportunities they get off of hosting the morning show. So I know that the work is challenging, but I know something good that we are doing here.
That's right. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. And of course, in closing, what would you like to share with our viewers this morning? Because not very often we get Mr. Nana on set. Not very often we get to ask him questions and get answers. So this morning, we're going to ask him, what do you want our viewers to know?
Well, the programs we have, very Tobago Updates morning show. Well, Tobago Updates mornings, which encompasses Tobago Updates morning show, which you are Dana. Then after we have GMT with Michelle Felix, and then Luke James Trim is in it now. Also, too, we have the Tobago Updates news, which is every day at 6:30, Monday to Friday. Also, too, we have the Minority Report. I really want to thank the minority because the Minority Report came on at the same time, Tobago Updates started, and we wanted to give a voice because we believe in democracy. Everybody has a voice. So the Minority Report with Mr. Marilyn David, Assemblyman Kelvin Morris, and Councillor Patel, I really thank them for, making the show happen because it's a consistent show on Tobago Updates every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And after that, we have a new program that started last year that will continue this year, which is Youth Voice with Kwa and Andrew Baker and the whole team. They bring out a whole youthful vibe. Youthful vibe is every Saturday from 12 to 1. So, look out for them. I think season 2 for them is starting this Saturday. Also, this Saturday also too, we have a new show launching. It's called Transforming Lives with Miss Diane McCletchy. It's 5:30 this Saturday. I know she'll be here to advertise the show, and you have an opportunity to interview her. And after, we have a new program starting on the 3rd of February, 8 p.m. That's a Monday, and it's called Straight Talk with economist Barry Joefield. And before I close, I really want to thank everybody who has been a part of this journey to where we are right now. Especially, I want to really target the management and ownership of the Port Mall, the space that we have here, because accommodating a TV station in a mall, especially when I have the opening and closing hours, and we have shows that go into night and stuff like that. So I really want to thank the management and ownership of Port Mall. I also want to thank Mr. Damien Edwards of Tobago Glass Limited, of course, from day one. When he heard about it, he's one of our biggest supporters. Recotech Limited, that's a technology partner right across in Port Mall here, because like when we got hacked and stuff like that, he's the one who assisted us in putting all these new systems in place, because as you grow, you never know. Never in a million years I would have believed I'd have ever been hacked. And we got hacked twice. And that's a very, very traumatic experience. Losing your Facebook pages, people are targeting your YouTube accounts, they even targeted our website also too. So, I really want to thank Recotech for helping us with the technology part of things. And I want to really thank all the sponsors and advertisers who advertise with us, because without them, without money, right, we have no survival. So, also I sent some flyers to the guys in Master Control. Also, I wanted to say, if you want to book, well, advertise with us. Yes, advertise with us, and we are on channel 102 on AMPLIA and channel 121 and 130 on Flow. So you could call us at 284-6597, and you could inquire about our rates and stuff like that, or you can email info@tobagoupdates.com. And if you want to do bookings on the morning show GMT, then you can call the number 284-6597, or you can speak to Mr. Ronald Wood, 620-2020. He's a guy who puts together the morning show and GMT, and of course my number is 6745-4468. I really want to thank everybody for the support and the continued support for the Tobago Updates and the Tobago Updates family and the work that we're doing here. Trust me, it's a labor of love. It's hard. I have a song I like, Kanye West and Jay-Z. We make it look easy. We make it look easy, but it's tough.
They don't know.
It's tough and a lot of work. Yes, we do have all the internal tips and stuff like that, but the programming and the content of Tobago is the most important thing, and really want to thank the viewers and everybody who supports Tobago Updates and Tobago Updates Television.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it from Mr. William Nana himself. I don't know if I'll ever get him on set to speak so long again, in a long time, you know, and of course, his sentiments are expressed. We appreciate the work that goes into making Tobago Updates Television what it is. And of course, we want you to join our family as well. As you heard in the end there, if you want to advertise with us, be a part of our family, you know what to do. You can contact us, get all the details there, and be a part of this lovely and growing family as we continue to bring you information about things happening in and around Tobago. Mr. Dana, thank you so much for coming on set this morning.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me. I do like in front of the camera, so I just retire to being in the background.
All right, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, up next we have Mr. Martin Lumpkin, President of Tutor, and we're going to be talking about protecting our teachers. Yes, we're going to have that conversation, so you want to stay with us, and as you stay with us, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash in transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning, and this morning we head on over to Trinidad. We're speaking with Martin Lumpkin. He is the president of Tutor, and this morning we're having a very, very important conversation. For those of you who are aware, there was a recent altercation between a student and a teacher at school, and this is not something that is brand new to Trinidad and Tobago. We've seen it happen from time to time. But today we want to have the conversation with the president of Tutor as to where do we go from here. Good morning, Mr. Lumpkin. Sorry there, and welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having Tutor on your program this morning.
Of course, a pleasure having you here with us this morning. Of course, a very, very important stakeholder in our education system is Tutor. The way we teach, learn, the teaching environment, the way our students are cared for, the environment the teachers teach in, a holistic sort of a stakeholder who takes concern of the teaching, learning experience. We have in Trinidad and Tobago seen time and time again where there have been a lot of fights breaking out in schools, mostly in secondary schools across the Trinidad and Tobago. Sometimes you see teachers trying to get in to part a fight. You might see them walking away, and sometimes it gets a little out of control, similar to what happened quite recently. And I know that Tutor has their position where they want to ensure the environment for teaching and learning is safe and comfortable, and that the teachers have the resources they need to ensure that they can do what they are being paid to do. And so we have this situation now. It has gathered attention on social media, everybody putting in their opinions about what has happened. And of course, with social media, you get to see some of the things that you would not have normally seen back in the day. You might have just gotten a report, and now you're seeing some of what is happening. Mainly, probably not all of it, but you're seeing some parts of it. And so we have this situation. My question this morning is, are there policies or guidelines as to how a teacher is supposed to deal with a situation where students might be fighting in a classroom, or there might be some type of conflict? How is the teacher supposed to intervene in that situation?
So within the Ministry of Education, there is the Code of Conduct that guides the duties as well as the performance and etc. As it relates to the teacher. Tutor has its code of ethics as well too. But to say there is a step-by-step guideline as to how it should be handled, most times teachers use their intuition, their instinct in assessing the situation before intervening. And we always advise our members to be cautious in intervening in scuffles and fights, etc. We remind our male teachers as well, if they are female students, and we're seeing more and more students, female students fighting, that they have to be ever so cautious, because in intervening and in becoming physical, it could be interpreted as sexual touching that they don't want to get into trouble with. However, there are authorities within the school that can intervene. We have in the secondary school our safety and health officers. There are school security officers, and at the secondary level there are deans. You made the point that you're seeing it in secondary schools. However, we have been observing that at the primary school it's creeping in at a level that we are not comfortable with at this time. But whenever a teacher intervenes, it's usually due to instinct, and a number of our teachers can't stand by and allow to see a fight taking place without intervening. And in some instances, our teachers intervene where before it becomes physical as well too, trying to de-escalate the situation. We need to get more training in handling situations like that, because the average teacher is not trained fully to handle these sort of situations.
And that was my next question, because I do know that the Ministry of Education and the Division of Education here in Tobago, the teachers go through training at the end of every semester. Even during the term, you would see that there would be some type of training. But that, for me, as far as I'm aware, is in education in terms of how do you create content, how do you ensure that the content is received by the students, how do you, stuff like that. How do you teach? How do you ensure that the teaching learning experience is one that is enjoyable? But I don't know of any type of training where they deal with conflict resolution, that aggressive or physical, I should say physical conflict resolution. And I'm wondering if there's a conversation that has started where that is concerned. And I'll tell you why. I read just this morning on social media about a teacher stating that they used to be a retired teacher, I believe. He used to teach at a secondary school, and whenever, and this is a male teacher, whenever he saw a fight taking place, he would walk away, turn the other way and walk away because of fear of becoming, sustaining an injury. And I am wondering if the conversation now is happening where they are going to ensure that there's that type of training for teachers. How do you use your intelligence to determine, is this something I want to get involved in? If I do get involved in this and the student, let's say the student is stronger than the teacher, because we have some young men who they're really strong, let's say the student is stronger than the teacher, the student is able to overpower the teacher. How do they protect themselves, stop the fight, protect the other students who are involved? How, there's some measure of training that needs to take place. I want to know if the conversation has already begun with all the stakeholders who are involved. This is the Ministry of Education, the TTPS, tutor, and all other stakeholders involved in the teaching learning experience.
The conversation is there. We at the level of tutor has always been advocating for some level of intervention. Now, we have to be cautious in terms of those physical altercations and getting involved. Even if you're trained to do so, sometimes the situation is such that, it's difficult to get involved. But as I said previously, most of our teachers, due to instinct, will jump in to try and prevent, especially if one student is being taken advantage of during the fight. But there's always the risk of being injured as well too. And hence the reason we need to have more support personnel. And these acts of violence should be addressed long before they manifest itself into physical altercation. I know that the Ministry of Education is attempting a program called I can't remember it right now. Restorative justice, I think it's called, where they're trying to intervene in the first instance. I know that the division also, through student support services, have been attempting to de-escalate some of the incidents. However, the emotional aspect, and as you said, conflict resolution is something that needs to be done more intensely at all our schools in and Tobago in order to assist. So the training, yes, probably to detect certain behaviors and to then seek the intervention from the relevant authorities, and having the relevant authorities more on the compound to assist and to support the teachers as well as administrators in the school needs to be focused more. Tutor has always been representing at the level of the Ministry of Education and at the division as well too.
And I know why the conversation is geared towards protecting our teachers when there are altercations in schools. What type of effort is being put into giving support to the students in terms of teaching them how to deal with conflicts, other than fighting? There are other ways to deal with disagreements and conflicts. I know there's a lot of bullying. There's a lot of, somebody might say something that might trigger you. Is any emphasis being put in dealing with the students, teaching them how to resolve situations, how to deal with triggers that might come up that might cause them to want to, react in a way that is physical and that might cause harm to somebody else? Is any emphasis being put on that?
Both the division and the ministry have been attempting to address it, but it is our submission that not enough is being done at this time. Student Support Services Division, that unit that looks after support and which will give support to the schools as well. They are understaffed, they are under-resourced, and the ministry and the division very well knows the importance that these units play, and as such need to put more resources into it. The ministry and division has been attempting to enhance the referral system, but because they're not willing to pay and get the necessary resources, put the monies in it, they are having our educators at the school being part of a group called SBIT, School-Based Intervention Team. But when you have to teach your class and then have these meetings, it's really difficult. The ministry and the division need to put more emphasis, more resources into the support groups. As I mentioned earlier, the ministry has this restorative practice that they are piloting at the schools of focus. We have not seen any report that says its intervention is working at this time. But some more programs need to be done, even at the primary and ECCE level, where we can detect deviant behavior at an early age, where the intervention should take place. Most times we only intervene at the secondary level. Intervention must take place at the lower levels as well.
And as you introduce that into the conversation, my next question was going to be, what, in terms of tutor, your position in tutor, what are the things that tutor are demanding from the ministry and all the stakeholders involved to put in place? What are the things that you are demanding to be implemented in the schools from as early as the primary schools, so that, you know, the balance can be found, that teachers from primary school level, secondary level, and the students can kind of understand the teaching learning system, what are the requirements, what is expected from them, and how they manage their emotions, how they manage holistically. What is your position in terms of your demands from the ministry where that is concerned?
Firstly, all schools should be safe and secure. There must be a level of infrastructure that allow for conducive and gives conducive environment for learning and teaching. We have to have the proper resources. We have to give the proper support. When we look at curriculum development as well too, it cannot be overloaded because of the fact that teachers are being burnt out and they're being asked to do more and more. So apart from delivery of curriculum, now the teachers have to be parents, lawyers, doctors, etc., which we used to, but the demands are even more because of what is taking place in the homes and society, that breakdown as well, where the home is supposed to be the primary educator. If they are lacking and the schools are supposed to be the secondary educator, the schools now become the primary educator. When you don't have these resources to aid as well too. So we talk about technology. It isn't just about giving a laptop and internet access. There has to be the proper software training to utilize the software and the support as it goes forward. The emotional aspect as well too, because a lot of times we only look at the intelligence as it relates to the curriculum. What about the emotional intelligence of our students as well too? We sometimes take a back seat, and because we have this SEA, CSEC, CAPE, these standardized tests, these summative tests, the focus is only there. There are some schools who also look at the physical, the spiritual as well too, and that has enhanced the behavior, the discipline of our students. What about the clubs that we used to have at schools for cadets, Boy Scouts, Girl Guides, etc., etc.? We are not seeing enough of that in our schools. But for school to establish these clubs, they must be given the support not only of the ministry, but the parent bodies of these institutions as well too. So we are looking at the overall aspect of education. We also have to look at what is the nature and purpose of education as it relates to national development as well. The Honorable Minister Young at a prize giving function, spoke about reviewing the curriculum, and he also spoke of our archaic education system, which is a step in the right direction. But we will only be content when we see action instead of words.
And I agree with you there in your closing, because the conversation about the education system being archaic is a conversation I've been hearing for years, and nothing has changed really. And I feel as if we have to tailor the curriculum to us here in the Caribbean, our lifestyles. We have to tailor it to the generation that is in school now. Teaching and learning has to be applicable to those who are in the environment, and the system does not give that opportunity. It kind of boxes everybody into, you know, one little box, and you have to do it this way or you just will fall out on the wayside, and that's what we've been seeing. So I do hope that that conversation bears fruit. I do hope it moves from a conversation, and I do hope it moves from an idea and a thought into actionable steps where we can see the changes. And I know it will be on a phase-by-phase basis, and I'm fine with that. Once there is some type of change that will come and encourage, you know, change of behavior. You're right about, I agree totally with bringing back clubs in schools. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, when I was going to school, once there's a group of children around, once a teacher appears, whatever you are doing, you would stop what you're doing and you will stand in respect of that teacher. I don't think that happens in schools anymore. I don't think that is a thing that happens now. Even if it is, you're not during class time, let's say it's lunchtime, on your lunch break. I remember specifically when I was in secondary school and it was our lunch break. And we were just, you know, children in school having fun talking, you know, and the vice principal walked into our classroom and the entire classroom went quiet. That was in respect and reverence of the authority over us. And I feel as if that has been lost in the system, and those are the things we need to bring back. And I do hope that all the stakeholders who are involved will revisit some of the things that worked in the past, you know, and upgrade them to where we are now so that we can move forward successfully. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers this morning?
We would like to wish every one of our educators all the best for 2025. We know there are some trying situations that you are under. Tutor will continue to support and to give that necessary representation. Just quickly, as you spoke about respect, not only in the classroom, but in society. I could recall long ago you passing someone along the road and you had to say good morning. You know, that was part of you know, your upbringing. And as you said, we're not seeing more of that. And it has to come from the home. And if that doesn't happen, then the school has to bridge that gap, unfortunately. But we'll have to do it because that's part of education as well, too. So I wish everyone all the best. I wish your station all the best. I listened to the previous interview, and you know, it's really great to have a station doing the type of work that you all are doing. So all the best to everyone.
Thank you very much, and the same is extended to you as well in all your endeavors and all that you do, especially representing the teaching body in Trinidad and Tobago. Do have a pleasant morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Mr. Lumpkin, President of Tutor, speaking about protecting our teachers in school and where do we go from here where the education system is concerned. We really need to make a few changes. We really need to, you know, upgrade the system a little bit. We really need to revisit some of the things that are challenging, some of the things that are not working, reintroduce, you know, the things that were the foundation of education in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, in the conversation we did mention that when a teacher walks into a classroom, you have to stand at attention. You know, that's the authority over you there. Speaking to someone, you're walking in the streets, you know, you have to say good morning or good afternoon, especially if it was an adult. You know, and any adult, even if they weren't your parents, they can correct you. And if you refuse to take the correction, message reaching home, and your parents will discipline you when you get there. There's so many things in our foundation, in our culture, that I believe has been watered down, have been removed, that used to serve us in the past that we're not allowing to serve us now. And I feel as if that is what has brought us to the place where we are now. So we need to revisit some of those things, of course, tweak the education system, tweak the curriculum, tweak the way teaching and learning is done. There are some children who will not thrive in a classroom. It is no secret, but they will thrive probably at a trade center. They will thrive working with their hands. They will thrive on the outdoors. They will thrive other places. Why not give them that opportunity? Why not create a space where that can happen seamlessly and they too can move up in the education system, not necessarily from primary school all the way to standard 5 and then to first form to fifth form and then try to force them into sixth form. Why not provide opportunities for children once they are in the learning age? And when I say that, the school age, provide opportunities where they can select, listen, I don't want to go to traditional school, but I can do, and there's the opportunity for them, clothing and textiles. Why not have a clothing and textile institution? Why not have, something where these young people, their skills, they can practice their skills, they can try something that they are interested in that will yield benefits in the end. You still teach them the same morals, the same values, the same qualities that they need to become a successful adult in society, integrated into society. Well, yes, there will be assessments. Yes, they have to meet the passing grade, but it's not in the confinement that does not work for them. There might be a student who is really, really good coming to school Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., sitting in a classroom, taking notes, excelling. That is fine for that student, but not all of them are like that. So perhaps we really do need to revisit how we disseminate information to children in the classroom setting, and of course, providing that support in the homes, in the communities. There's so many collaborators who can come on board to ensure that that experience can be improved. There are so many things we need to consider: community projects, community policing, partnerships with all different types of social groups, from the home level and then into the school level, and helping our teachers and students to thrive and to be successful in the teaching learning experience. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us throughout the morning show this morning. Thank you so much for leaving your comments on our live feed. Thank you so much for being part of the Tobago Updates television family. And of course, this is where we end the morning show on Tobago Updates television, but it is not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, which is Good Morning Tobago, and we do hope that you can stay with us. And as you stay with us, of course, we need you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
A good Friday morning to you. This is another episode of AutoCorrect. And this is where we sit and we take the time to actually correct misconceptions in the space, to actually treat with questions, burning questions that you may have. And on Monday, when we had our autofocus episode, we started a series where we invite others to the podcast, because I really and truly want to share the opinions of others, which may or may not align with my opinion or the policy of the government. But the beauty about democracy is that we all should have a say in this matter of Tobago's self-government. And so this morning, I have AMPLIA Chong with me. AMPLIA Chong, a young lady from Plymouth, I believe. And in 2023, AMPLIA graduated from St. Francis College out of New York and was awarded for the best thesis in global politics. Guess what was the title of her thesis? Her title was Examining the Economic and Political Obstacles to Tobago's Self-Government. And I felt that absolutely brilliant. I don't know many young people who have pursued the issue of Tobago autonomy in their academic studies as you have. And so tell us about that, AMPLIA. Tell us what motivated that, why Tobago self-government, why you're so interested in it to the extent that you made it the focus of your academic work, and that you were able to achieve an honors thesis in that regard?
Okay, well, fun fact actually, I became interested in the topic from seeing your Facebook post about the topic, because prior to that, I was not aware that it was something being pursued. So I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw your post, and I was like, wow, that's actually amazing that I didn't know that was happening right in my own space. So from that, I wanted to learn more about it, learn more about the history, learn more about what it has to offer for Tobago and those kinds of stuff. So when we were doing the research for our thesis topics, I did not find that any of the offered topic resonated with me and what I wanted to do, because although I was studying abroad, I had a very keen interest in Caribbean affairs and most importantly, Tobago affairs. So I asked for exemption and I asked for the opportunity to explore that topic. And I was given the green light. I looked at interviews, other political persons in the space, economics interviews about the question. I read articles. I went and I read books. And I was like, wow, this is a long, long, long fight. And we're still fighting for it today. And I want to be able to contribute to that discourse and give a youth voice in that discourse.
So, no, it's interesting, your perspective, that from just perhaps one of my random Facebook posts, and if this is a Facebook post that you saw around, what, 2022?
2020, around there, yeah.
2020?
Because
so that was before before I became Chief Secretary?
Yes.
Oh, well, in those days I posted a lot more on Facebook. So probably saw one of my usual rants about Tobago's treatment in the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago. Why do you think it's important for young people to have a voice and to participate in the autonomy conversations? Why is this subject matter, you think, important to young people like yourself?
Well, there's a misconception that autonomy is for the older folks, and that they don't really see how it's applicable to young persons, because the focus is more so how it will benefit the older generation. So it's important that we get involved, because if it's achieved, or when it's achieved, we will be the ones that have to carry on the battle and to see it through, right? So there's an argument that we should not support the push towards self-government because we don't have the human resources to have a sustainable economy and be governing, right? So with more persons involved, like myself, younger persons, we'll be able to add a youth perspective and basically give life to what we will want for ourselves in the years to come. So I think that's why we should be involved.
How old are you, Alia?
I'm 25.
25. So you're right. We expect your generation to carry on the baton. I mean, it bothers me that I'm not just walking into this thing already done, that we're still making the same arguments made in 1977 by Robinson and Winston Murray. Are we making the same arguments made by A.P.T. James before Robinson? Are we making the same arguments that essentially James Bigat was making in 1925, when he was arguing that, look, the Parliament ought to support Bishop's High School Tobago and give it the status of a government-assisted school, which they didn't even want. They didn't even want to give us a school because they felt the island just was beneath having a school. And it just feels as though we are making these same arguments generation after generation after generation. And it is bothersome to me that I am here making those same arguments. And it seems as though those that we're making the arguments to have bucket ears, as we say, the hard of hearing or the ears don't work. From a youth perspective, what would you do different? Let's say we are in the future and you are part of the team advocating for this. I am no longer here. So it's a hypothetical. I am no longer here. The generation of politicians we have now, we are no longer here. And you still have to carry on this fight for Tobago's right to self-government or self-governance, what would you do different? What would you add to the conversation that is not now in the conversation?
Firstly, I will try to focus on empowering the youth, right? Because currently and in the past, there's a heavy reliance on jobs within the public sector. So everyone wants a morning work, everyone wants a little CPEC 10 on, 10 off, right? Not many persons are focusing on empowering themselves. We need lawyers, we need economics, we need doctors, but we also need entrepreneurs as well. So I think focusing on empowering the youth to start a business, kind of like the program that's present in finance right now, basically give them the tools to empower themselves and make Tobago a bit more economic independent. Because some of the arguments that I saw when I was doing my research is that Tobago would not be able to economically sustain itself, right? And they don't have the tools. So focus primarily on economic independence first before political independence, right? So to start off with that, I think that we need both. And so empowering the youth to start their businesses.
Alegre canto. Me voy a la trovador, pam, pam, a descargar la careta, pam, pam. Me voy a la trovador, pam, pam, a descargar la careta, pam, pam, para llegar a la meta, pam, pam. Yo pipo un salamo, a caballo vamos pa'l monte, a caballo vamos pa'l monte, a caballo vamos pa'l monte, a caballo vamos pa'l monte.
It was marvelous to see the inmates returning to their cells in the night and discussing what they would have done throughout the afternoons when this program would have taken place. We are proud. We have the belief that this would help us in the reintegration program where the inmates will return into society and be an asset to Tobago, producing positive, successful labor.
I always really liked the look of cakes and I'm into baking, so I just really wanted to be able to do it on my own. I have a lot of nephews and nieces, so just wanted to be able to do stuff for them.
I always have a passion for barbering. You know, I could have cut hair. My father taught me how to do it from a long time and I had stopped a little while, so I decided, you know, let me just pick up back this thing and, you know, learn whatever I might learn before I've learned a new skill, enhance my knowledge that I already have. So I heard they give me a certificate, so I said, okay, let me get a certificate as well.
I see this growing. It could only get better. Persons now just have to focus and not only try to do all the courses, but zero in on something that you can specialize in and you can become a great entrepreneur. But I think it's great. These things you normally pay for. Right? And as I say, skills is where we have to go. Skills is where the world is going. That's where you'll make your money.
I feel that they should continue doing these things because it really helps young people, the youth of our community, to really push themselves forward and get into what they want and what they need. It really just helps us to grow and develop as a society, and it is just very helpful on a whole.
The vocational skills training and handicraft programs are living examples of our division's commitment to empowering lives and transforming communities. These programs, rooted in decades of perseverance and growth, are more than training sessions. They are incubators of creativity, resilience, and self-sufficiency.
Yo pipo un salamo, a caballo vamos pa'l monte, a caballo vamos pa'l monte, a caballo
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor. So wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting conversations, I just want to let you know that this morning we are continuing our Beneath the Surface series here on Tobago Updates. Now, with Beneath the series, we have been going beneath and beyond to ask the questions that you want asked and to understand more from our assemblymen on some of the ideas and concepts behind a number of the policies and plans that they have implemented. And this morning, as we continue our discussion, I have the privilege of sitting here in studio with Assemblyman Nigel Tate. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel. Good morning to the viewing public. Good morning, Tobago.
Right, and the last time you and I sat here and had this conversation, there were clips of you clearing a drain. You were in your district, you were clearing a drain that was blocked. How, since then, have you still been on the ground in that way in your district, or have you been able to pull together a team that has removed you from having to go into drains recently?
Oh, Chanel, well, I have never left the ground, first thing first, right? I'm here with my team members of my district. We have a small group, we call it Patient Cell Signal Helping Hand Group. We go around assisting persons that need help within our community. Help in terms of, yes, clearing of drains, we assisting cutting yards, cleaning up the place. Just recently we had a cleanup drive through health, and my team and myself, we did an excellent job. We did some cleaning up in Union. We did some in part of Lambo, my area. We did some in Orange Hill and Patient Cell and Signal, of course. So I'm always on the ground.
Okay. And what were some of the initiatives that you implemented within your district that did not exist there before you came in?
Well, I could say one thing that I've done, I've revamped the Patient Cell Football Village League, right? Because it's been over a decade. The Football League just went awry. And now that we have the lights on the ground, I was able to bring back the Football League in the village, and which was of great success this last year, 2024. Right? And there are other things that I did, like forming a small group in my village of Patient Cell. Right, where we're going around and assisting people that need help, right, along with some of my members from my district staff. Go to house and find out those persons who actually needs help, right, in terms of giving them like hampers, food stuff, one little help around the home, things like this.
Right.
Yeah.
And have you been getting a receptive response from members of your district? What kind of response are you getting when you are interacting with them? Are they still dissatisfied as they were under the previous regime? Do they still have the same sort of concerns that they've had before? Are they feeling the effects of having a new administration, or are people still saying nothing has changed?
Well, to be honest with you, Chanel, when I leave home one morning after I say my prayers, I just leave home with positive vibes, right? So when I go to talk to anybody within my district, I'm expecting to maintain my positive vibes with them. Mm. Yes, you will encounter one or two persons will be saying that they are not satisfied with certain things. For example, employment, right? Which is one of the major factor right now. So yes, I do experience some negative things, but most of my comments will be positive coming from the persons within my electoral district, because I'm always there with them.
And how do you combat or help those persons who have those employment needs?
Okay, well, again, in my district office, right, what we do, we assist persons, because the THA cannot employ everybody. Let me get that straight, right? They just can't, right? So we look at the private sector, right? So I have a person in my office that looks at the private sector to assist persons in job. Like, for example, about just before Christmas, I was able to get 2 youth men to go and work on with a construction company, right? So we're looking for advertisement, like places like hotels that may need people and those sort of things. So we try to assist persons in that area.
What were some of the projects that you really felt like you wanted to get off the ground in your district, but you were not able to do it during your last 2 years?
Okay, one of my major projects that I really wanted to get off the ground was the bridge in Spring Garden. But in due time, I know with Secretary James there, it will happen in due time, soon come. Right? That was one of my major projects on them.
Why is it so important for this bridge? Give us the history of this bridge.
Well, for those who know where the bridge in Spring Garden is located, it is located just under the Scarborough Hospital now, right? And the bridge is sort of kind of narrow. Right? So two lane of traffic cannot pass there at the same point in time. Right? So if we could get a bridge to extend, to widen a little bit, and do some extensive work on it, yes, it will be better for persons who are traveling within that area, because it come like a off-foot shortcut, we are accustomed to that word shortcut. The persons coming in and out of Patience Hill, Signal Hill, right? And then the hospital is right there now. Sometimes you have the ambulance passing, and that's the said area. So that is one of my major projects that I would like to see come off the ground.
And what were some things that you really felt like you wanted to do to impact the community that was accomplished?
Well, one, the main thing for me was getting the lights on Patience Hill football ground. For years, since I was a little boy growing up, we have been playing football, cricket, sports in general on that ground without no lights. And majority of the grounds in Tobago got lights, right? And Patience Hill is a known village for football, cricket, we have good sports personnel come out from Patience Hill. Yeah. And we have been clamoring for that lights for decades. Right? For decades, and we keep getting promises after promises after promises, and up until early last year, we finally got the lights on Patience Hill football ground, which gave Patience Hill football team an opportunity now to go back, re-register in the Tobago Football Association Football League. Right? Mm-hmm. And then now, with the lights now, I was able to run a village football league. Right, we have little sporting activities taking place after hours, after 6 in the night. So that is one of my greatest accomplishments thus far, being in the assembly.
All right, and even with that as being one of your biggest accomplishments, there are persons within your district who might say, well, I'm not from Patience Hill and I don't play football, so that does not necessarily impact me. What are some of the other things that you have done to make your presence really felt within your district and to meet persons on different scales and at different places in their life with different needs?
Okay, well, those who know me, right, I'm also involved in culture, right? I'm a member of the West Side Steel Orchestra, and at this point in time, we were fortunate to qualify for the semi-finals. Right. But unfortunately, we didn't qualify for the finals. Right? So I'm also involved in culture, and whilst I get an opportunity now to talk to the players, because most of the players is basically youths, right? It's only 1 or 2 elders we have on the team right now. Mm-hmm. So whilst I also use that opportunity to help talk to some of the youths and them and put them in the right direction, and tell them, encourage them into continue school, do something positive for yourself, don't get involved in certain illegal activities, I use that medium as one. Also, my helping hand group, at times we also do walk around, we go on the blocks, have conversation with volunteer the persons and them, there's some of the youths and them, encourage them into positive vibes, as I said before. Right? So I'm always on the ground. I'm on the ground.
Are you glad that you have gotten into politics? And have you encountered anything on your journey so far that has made you ask yourself, what have I gotten myself involved in?
Now, let me answer that question very honestly, right? Yes, I am happy that I got myself involved in politics. I'm proud. This is one proud black man always in here. I'm happy that I got myself involved in politics. But there are certain things along the way during my journey where I encounter certain challenges, right, that is beyond my control. But most times I try to meet with it, my challenges on them, and I try to deal with it. Most of my challenges, there's be things that I really cannot help, right, in which others really want to help. So sometimes I take money from my pocket and do certain things to assist persons that need help. And I'm going to continue doing that until such time.
How has being in the position that you're in now affected your family and your family dynamic?
Again, I want to be honest. The position that I'm in here right now, not really affecting my family, so to speak, because I'm a God-fearing person, right? I have a conversation with my wife and my children on a regular basis, right? But I also suffer with high blood pressure, right? So I want to be honest. So there are times, like if I go out to work on morning for 8, sometimes I may not complete my day's journey till all 9, 10 in the night. It all depends. And then, you know, sometimes based on my medical condition, you know, it kind of take a toll on me where I had to take pressure tablets and go to the doctor, see about my health. You know, that may be one of the challenges that I do face, but I am giving up the fight though.
Right, but you do have that support from your family, and they make sure to check up on you, make sure you take your medicine and all of that.
Yes, my family does do regular checkup on me. And let me take this opportunity to say that my children, Nalia and Kaniko, say I love you all much. I have a grandson, Liam, I love him very much. And to my loving wife, my loving supportive wife, I love you. I love you, I love you. I have my brother, who's also part of my supporting staff. He also makes sure and make calls on a regular basis to make sure that I'm there. My district staff, they come like family also to me, right? They also look out for me on a regular basis. I have good, close friends within my space. They also look out for me, make sure that I'm healthy, I'm strong, what have you. And then I have a cousin that living out in New York. Every single day, he makes phone calls and make sure that I'm all right. And I just say prayers, you know. And these are the support that I get from some of the persons around me. Also, members of my executive, yeah, they also look out for me too.
Understood.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll come back as we continue our conversation beneath the surface. See you soon.
The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor.
can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tapago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tapago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tapago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tapago's at your service.
Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor. To wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong. And the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones.
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Beneath the Surface right here on Tobago Updates. And we are chatting with Assistant Secretary, Mr. Tate. So, Mr. Tate, good morning to you. I know I came in a bit late, but I'm so happy to be here and to conduct this interview. So, I want to kick things off asking you about that intersection between the island of Tobago and your division. I think everyone knows that when you think about Tobago or natural resources, that is like paramount to us. It's like our cultural calling cards. So I want you to articulate to me, when it comes to protecting the island's natural resources, what are some of the initiatives and projects the division has rolled out thus far within the 3-year span?
Okay, well, you know that my division is basically in charge of the Boko Reef Marine Park, right? So you know that there are a lot of unlawful activities used to take place there, right? If anything unlawful going on there now, it is because we are not aware of.
Okay.
However, since I'm there, we were able to do some collaboration with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, along with the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, where we are doing regular patrols during the day to help secure our reefs, because you know it is illegal to do any kind of fishing on the reef, diving, going for conchs, hunting the turtles or whatsoever. It is totally illegal. So we have then collaborated with members of the protected services to help protect our marine park in Tobago, and you know that is one of our main attraction within the tourist industry for our beautiful island of Tobago. So we have to protect it. So from since then till now, we have been able to reduce most of the illegal activities that take place within that space.
Okay, that's good, because I think we understand from our country we have a lot of laws, but we don't enforce them. So it's really good to see, especially where Tobago is concerned, that you know the division is enforcing those laws to ensure that Tobago stays Tobago. It stays untouched, it stays safe, green, and serene. For the year 2025, what are some of the projects or initiatives we can look forward to seeing from the division?
Okay, from the division of, well, I really just look over the division of Marine Resources and Fisheries, right? Thus far, let me start from 2024, then I'll come to 2025.
Okay,
right? In 2024, we were able to do some reconfiguration of some of the fish facilities in Tobago, and we were able to get to hand over some of the keys for the lockers to most of the fishing facilities. We did Charlottesville, right? We did some lockers for them on the outside. And we did Roxborough Fish Facility, right? We recently did Boku, complete over in Boku. If you're driving in Boku now and you look over here, right, you'll see a complete different, the ISO is totally different now, right? We started a project in Palatavere, Culloden, and we still have things ongoing. Right, in 2025, we are hoping to see the Culloden project complete, the Palatavere project complete, and I know under the agriculture sector, under my hard-working secretary, Natisha Charles Pantin, I know that she's working hard to have the vet lab organized along with mega farms and these sort of things under the agricultural side of it, right?
Okay.
Understood. And even when we look at the capital of paradise and how it has
Yes.
been able to produce,
Yes,
we
yes.
heard as we spoke to Assemblyman Letitia Charles Panton last week, she indicated that it has been more profitable. It is not more profitable now than it has ever been before. What are some of the plans to possibly acquire another boat? And how can persons get involved with the capital of paradise if they want to, specifically young fishermen?
Okay. Well, discussions is taking place at this point in time in terms of having another vessel to the fleet. Right? We have a hard-working captain, Mr. Llewellyn Ellis, who is captain of the capital of paradise. At present, that vessel is on dry dock, soon to return on the seas in very short order. And any person who willing to join the capital of paradise, you all can just come to the division, right? Have a discussion with the director, with the administrator, or come to any one of the secretaries, Mr. Charles Panton or myself, and share your concern that you are interested in joining the capital of paradise. Training will be provided, and yeah, it could happen.
Do you plan on having any specific fishing training sessions in the future to allow some of those young guys within your district who are asking for employment to get involved with the capital of paradise and get into the industry, as opposed to just saying, okay, I need a morning work, which is a part of the culture in Tobago, as you indicated previously?
Yes, at this point in time, we are engaged with Mr. Dave Elliott, right? He is in charge of a group of scouts, I think, right? From, I think is up in the countryside. And we are presently having discussions to have some of the youths that are in training with him to come and get some training from our vessel that we have right now, which is a safari tree, right? So that training for the youths is in process right now, right? The division also, we engage in a lot of training for the fisher folks also. Recently, we did first aid training. We did safety at sea training, which is very important and critical. And I'm going to use this opportunity now to tell all fisher folks in Tobago, right? Once the division is having training for safety at sea, I will encourage each fisher folk who goes out, who venture out in the open waters, come and receive that training. It is very vital at this point in time because one life lost at sea is too much for we to be going on, because we have lost a couple. And simple things like wearing a vest, a safety vest, right? Having the VHF radios for communication, and so many other things that we train for the fisher folk in Tobago. So I'm encouraging all fisher folk at this point in time, once you hear that we have a training, come out and receive the training. It will be beneficial to you and your crew.
Okay, Mr. Tate. And it's interesting that the conversation has shifted to maritime and boundaries because we know, especially where Tobago's autonomy is concerned, that issue about our boundaries and the maritime borders has been subjected to extensive commentary. So I know you can't look into the future, but I want you to just walk us through and give us that insight in the event that Tobago is to gain the autonomy that it is advocating for and our boundaries are defined. How can that look for your division? How can we see the current efforts of your division being transformed with that level of autonomy?
Yes, having autonomy at this point in time will be very grateful, not just for the division, but for Tobago, right? For the Tobago space. Because if you observe now, we're having a lot of piracy taking place, right? We are seeing men losing their vessels, engines are being stolen, and what have you. And our borders are unsecure. I'm being honest, it is unsecure, right? Most times, there is no vessel berthed, no Coast Guard vessel berthed in Scarborough port. So once we have any distress calls or whatsoever, we don't get to communicate with the Coast Guard as we want to. If the vessel lost at sea or whatsoever, we normally use most of our fishermen who knows the water thing, right? So having autonomy now for Tobago, it will be so good that we'll have at least a better say under the Ministry of National Security, because that is on the 6th schedule, right? We don't really have much say with that, right? But if we have our own autonomy, we could get to say, well, and I hear we're going, we need vessels, Coast Guard vessels, especially in Tobago. right? That will do good for our division at this point in time.
Okay, great. And this is a question I ask most of the assemblymen here on the show. I want you to tell me, when you think about Tobago, what does Tobago mean to you personally?
Tobago?
Mm-hmm.
Tobago is my home. So it is my aim is to make Tobago the greatest little island on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working with an excellent Chief Secretary, Fali Chavez Agustin. We have a beautiful team, executive members. All of them, I believe all of us is on one drive. And that is to making Tobago the greatest island on the planet.
And do you think that the persons within your district have mustered enough confidence in you to put you back there come next election?
Well, I'm going to answer your question like this. I, Nigel Tate, will continue to do my best. My best. I'm going to answer all calls. I'm going to try to deal with all issues that is within my space that I can assist with. I'm going to do it. Right? If the persons within my electoral district wants to put me back there, I'm welcome. I'll continue to do that. If they don't want to put me back there, well, that is their choice. Right? But I, Nigel Tate, I'm not giving up this fight. Because from where we were before to where we are at now, if you compare it, right, we are way better off. And persons within the district could honestly say yes, because the amount of persons that receive employment, so much persons getting assistance in so many ways. So yes, I'm going to continue. So as I said before, I cannot answer the future, but I believe, yes, that the people within my district have confidence in me to put me back there.
Understood. And so for you, are you confident in the organization? Because you said that you have an excellent executive and a beautiful team, but you came in under the PDP administration, and now you have transitioned into the TPP administration. Do you think, as this transition has happened, that your area, your constituents are confident in this new organization to also give them their vote come next THA election?
Yes, I believe so, because I don't just want to talk about my district, but I want to talk about the whole of Tobago. Tobago, this is the first time that you all have seen leadership from a young gentleman by the name of Fali Chavez Agustin, who is the chief secretary for Tobago right now, right? And trust me, I have no regrets joining this team. With Mr. Chavez leading this team, I am on board 100%, along with all the rest of assemblymen and councillors. I am on board with them.
Okay, great. Mr. Tate, I want to go back to your younger self, little Nigel Tate growing up in the area. And I want you to tell me, how was that for you, like your upbringing? And what were the factors that inspired you to really get into politics? Because I think, like I always said, when we chat with the assemblymen and we go back in time, we realize that their upbringing really reflects why they are in the space they are now. So tell me about little Nigel Tate.
All right. Well, I will start from little Nigel Tate, right? Well, I was born in Signal Hill, right? And then my mom and dad got married, and I moved from Signal Hill to Patience Hill. So I still remain within my district, right? I attended the Patience Hill Government School, where I sat, them days was common entrance. Sat common entrance, I was successful. I passed Scarborough Junior Secondary School. Then I went on to Signal Hill Senior Comprehensive, well, that was the name at them time, right? Signal Hill Senior Comprehensive School. I also went to Monk St. George Youth Camp, and then I went on to join the Port Police Department, where I spent 30 years there, right, in law enforcement on the port. So I have a fair knowledge on law enforcement also. But during my upbringings, I was involved in football in Patience Hill. I was also involved in PAN. I used to play tenor back in my youthful days in PAN. I used to play football with Patience Hill, Hills United Football Club. I also represented Monk St. George Youth Camp in cricket and football also. And I also used to sprint.
Okay.
I was a 100-meter sprinter back in the days also. So You know, basically, growing up in my village was sort of everybody knew Tate, right? Both senior and patients, because my father also was a sportsman. He was involved in so many things also, and he used to like after sports, people come with your knee come out of joint, your toe come out of joint. People used to come by him and used to do massages and whatever. And I used to be there watching him, and then I kind of take the trait from him now. So I also do personal massage, but I'm not qualified, so let me don't think on that. So, you know, I'm not a qualified person, but I have an idea how to do it. Right? My father was a fire officer, so he was known also. So I kind of adapted some of his style. You know, just being on the village, being around the elders, and they did basically that was just me in the village.
Okay, so did you have a passion for food and agriculture and marine ecosystems at that age, or was it something that developed when you got into the role?
No, when I got into politics, I had no choice but to learn, right, the division in which I was placed in. I had no thing, but my passion was really and truly law enforcement, right? Because I spent 30 years on the port. I was basically involved in crime detection and these sort of law enforcement activities. I was more involved in that, so that was my passion. But when I entered politics, I told the chief secretary, wherever you put me, I'm willing to work.
And how has that been for you thus far? Because we know the field of politics, it's a field that will force you to get into fields that you're not accustomed to. How was that learning experience for you, you know, just stepping into uncharted waters, pun intended, and, you know, learning about all things agriculture, food security, and about our island's marine ecosystem?
I'm going to be very honest with my answer, right? At first, it was very challenging because remember, I'm not going to something that I have no knowledge of, right? But I'm a fast learner. It didn't take me long to really understand and learn the division's policies and the aim and the objective, what have you. So it took me, about 6 months or so to get myself into it. And then I had a secretary, Ms. Natisha Charles Pantin. What I don't know, what I don't understand, I will go to her, and she's going to guide me accordingly. Thus far, she has been guiding me within the division, and she's doing an excellent job within both the division and both guiding me, right? Because there are times that there are certain things I may not fully understand, right? So I'll go to her, and she will guide me accordingly, right? I also have other persons within the Division of Marine Resources and Fisheries. In that area, I will not understand everything also. So there I will go to persons working at the director and them and ask for questions. And I'm still gonna do, because every day goes around is a learning process, right? So I'm still learning. But within 6 months' time, I was able to adapt myself, and here I am.
Okay, but we're going to take a quick break right here, and we're going to be back right after this as we continue our conversations beneath the surface. See you soon.
Energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor. Don't wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawn.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. And we continue our Beneath the Surface series. And this morning we have been chatting with Assemblyman Nigel Tate. Now, yesterday we saw some fisher folks down at Lambo coming out and having a protest. Tell us, what do you think about that?
Well, let me give a comprehensive statement on this whole issue, the fisher folk and their claims for compensation, right? A committee was formed with persons within the space who have a fair amount of knowledge about dealing with these sort of issues, right? Having said that, some monies were sent to Tobago, and the chief secretary has done his due diligence and distributed accordingly, right? And at this point in time, I'm calling on the two associations. We have TUFA, which is Tobago Unified Fishing Association. The president is Mr. Bertil Taylor. And then we have ADFA, which you all know, with the president, Mr. Curtis Douglas, right? So the chief secretary said that the money's investigation took place, and they had now to submit their claims to ITOF in Trinidad, right? And the chief secretary, I could see he has worked hard, right, to get some resolve for the fisher folk in Tobago. And he's still working hard for them, right? Because he keep on, he trying hard to assist them. But what is very ironic is that I'm not hearing anything from the both MPs for Tobago East and Tobago West. Right? I'm not hearing anything about them saying anything that they will reach with central government to assist the fisher folk in Tobago that were affected with the oil spill. I'm not hearing anything from them at all.
But to be fair, I did hear the MP for Tobago East, Mrs. Ayana Webster Roy, indicating that she is able to facilitate some of the claims, so persons, fisher folk in Tobago who still have claims can come to her office, which I believe is down at Shaw Park, there at the CAST building, and file their claim.
To be honest, first time I'm hearing of this. So if Ms. Webster Roy is doing that, well, let the fisher folks in Tobago, them could direct some of their grief or whatever off of the chief secretary and go to Ms. Webster Roy to assist. Yeah, because if she made a public statement on that, I don't have a problem with that. But what I'm saying is that the chief secretary, he had worked hard, he has done his part, and he's still working hard to help bring relief to the fisher folk in Tobago.
So what are you doing and your administration doing to help the fisher folk understand where to direct some of their requests? So there were the requests from ADFA, the All Tobago Fisher Folk Association, and they are claiming that they operated as a contractor during the oil spill to go out and assist with the cleanup. Now, the fisher folk particularly, their claims are directly connected to damage done to some of their vessels, as well as income lost during that time. So how do you make that separation between, okay, ADFA, they were a contractor, they were supposed to get money under the 50 million, sorry, the was it 50 million? The 50 million that was sent to Tobago, while the individual fishermen, because I spoke to Curtis Douglas and he indicated that that money that they received had nothing to do with individual fishermen and their individual claims. So how do you make that separation? Okay, ADFA, they are a contractor, they are being paid under the 50 million or were supposed to be paid with that, while the individual fisher folk who are claiming for their vessels, claiming for their nets, claiming for, income lost, they are supposed to go to the central government. What are you doing to make that separation?
Okay. The division is continued doing their work. We are informing the fisher folk of Tobago of what it is taking place, right? But as I said before, the chief secretary is the person, is the leader on this whole thing. So he's the one who will be treating with the fisher folk of Tobago, because whatever money was sent to Tobago, the chief secretary has done his investigation along with the committee, and he has done distribute certain amount of funds thus far. And as I said before, the chief secretary is continuing working hard for the fisher folk of Tobago, right? And I believe that I said it before, the fisher folk have to submit their claims to the ITOF company in Trinidad at this point in time, right? So
Right.
I don't really want to go too contrary, because I know the chief secretary have already spoken on it already. So I don't want to say something that may go contradicting to what he said. But I know for sure the chief secretary has done his part, and he's continued to working hard to assist the fisher folk.
But we know that the fisher folk are a big voter demographic. They have big families, and they are quite influential in their circles, although they might seem like, simple persons, but they are quite influential. Do you and your administration believe that this is a serious target audience to appease and to work with and to assist, specifically seeing that there is an election that is pending this year and next year?
Well, let me just say, right? Politics will always be politics, right? Everybody in the space always looking for an easy way out, right? We are going to continue to convince persons in Tobago to support this party, which is the TPP party, which is the present party that is being ruled by our Chief Secretary, Father Chavez Augustine. And if you heard clearly what I said before, that the Chief Secretary has done his part, he has worked hard, and he has distributed some of the funds where it's supposed to be distributed. And he's continuing working hard for the fisher folk of Tobago, right? But I'm going to still say, well, I just heard about you said about Ms. Westerroy. Where is the voice or the voices of our two MPs from Tobago who sits in central government, right? Who sits in parliament? I'm not hearing anything about them assisting the fisher folk for those who have their claims, right? I'm not hearing anything about them. But I will honestly say the Chief Secretary is doing his best to assist the fisher folk right now.
Right. And I do think that maybe some of the channels that are being used to communicate are not necessarily effective. Because let's look at it. The average fisher folk, are they really sitting down looking at a press conference from the chief secretary, or looking at, some of these programs? Are they having the time to do so while they are out at sea? So how are you going to them directly and giving them the type of communication that is needed to make them aware of where they should be channeling their claims? How should the claims be filled out, and where they can go to get assistance in filling out the claim?
As I said before, right, a committee was formed, right? Each president from the two governing associations were part of the committee, right? So them will go and have meetings with members of their association, and they will guide them towards making out the forms, right? Or they could come to the Division of Marine Resources and Fisheries, which is located at Nursery. They'll come there and you'll get guidance also on how to make up the forms, which was already done and submitted. And what the chief was trying to tell everybody, based on his media conferences, is to go to ITOF now and send your claims there, right? So I believe that we have done our part and we are continuing our part because there are some fisher folk who may not listen to the Chief Secretary's media briefings, right? So most times, some of them may be out at sea, right? And not everybody is fortunate enough to get a device, to listen, or some persons will actually be home in time to watch news. Right, so we try also to reach with some of the fisher folk on one-on-one and explain to them also.
Okay, Mr. Tate. I want you to talk to me about the intersection between young people and your division, because we understand that your division, quite frankly, offers the flexibility where vocational skills are concerned. So the young person who wants to get into agriculture, who wants to be brand ambassadors for our marine ecosystem, when you go down on the west and you go to Pigeon Point and the Glass Bottom boat, you see that the working population, they are really young people. Even where climate change is concerned, we can have a lot of young people who can act as brand ambassadors to educate the wider region and international circles about how climate change affects the island of Tobago. What currently exists, or what can we see rolling out soon where that intersection between the youth and your division is concerned?
Okay, well, at present we have some programs in place right now, where we are training persons and younger folks to come and learn about how to plant and grow pawpaw and other root crops, right? We have programs roll out for the fishing industry also, right, where we having persons could come on board and learn how to do fishing, net mending, and these sorts of things. Right, we have a few bit of programs out right now, so we are going to encourage the youths and them. Go on our social media page, and you will see what we have advertised for the youths, and you could come and take part, come and join. Be part of it, because our aim is to try to inform everyone and try to educate everyone in terms of agriculture, because we all know agriculture and fishing is a science, right? You have to know what the right type of soil when to plant. You have to know the type of fertilizers to use for your crops, Come and learn this thing. And in terms of fishing, I mean, I don't know, well, season, what fish is in season now, what time to fish, how to go and fishing, all these sort of things. And now we are experiencing climate change, right? We are seeing this the first time in my entire life. I've seen this influx of sargassum seaweed over a couple of years, right? Agriculture, persons who are involved in agriculture can take some of the seaweed and now to do the processing of it, right? And you could use it as a fertilizer to some of the crops, right? We are seeing coral bleaching. We are seeing so many things taking place right now. We have programs set up to edify the persons in Tobago who are interested in these activities. Come forward and learn, be involved in the program and learn how these things are being done.
Okay, great. Wrapping up, is there anything you'd like to leave with the Tobago population, your constituency, your executive council? I think this is the time where it's all about you.
About me? Well, what I could say, Tobago, I love you all, right? I love you all so much that I will run my blood to water for Tobago, right? Because I want to see Tobago a safe place, right? Recently, we are experiencing a lot of crimes. We are experiencing a lot of murders taking place in Tobago. I want this to stop, because that is my passion, right? Law enforcement is my passion. So I'm going to do anything that will help eliminate the amount of crimes that is taking place in Tobago, right? And in terms of the TPP party, I'm urging persons in Tobago continue to support this party. This is our first term, and I believe that we have done an excellent job thus far. And we are going to continue to do this job because we have a leader that is way beyond. And that's our leadership. He's good, right? I could tell that he's good, right? Along with our Deputy Chief Secretary, all of our secretaries, assistant secretaries and councillors, yes, and also the executive of the TPP party. Yes, I'm going to encourage all Tobagoans. Let us work together. Let us unite. Let us help fight crime. Let us continue to say our prayers, and we are going to make Tobago the greatest island on this planet.
All right, so we
Thank
want to
you.
thank you so much, Mr. Nigel Tate, for coming on here this morning and giving us your time and kind of giving us an extensive overview of, your personal life. We got into some things about your family even, what you have been doing at the divisional level, as well as what has been happening in your district. So again, we want to thank you so much for being open and honest with us and allowing us to go beneath the surface. Guys, we want to thank you so much for being with us this morning. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. So stick with us and be sure to continue watching Beneath the Surface. Thank you and have a great day.
We special and there is no denying Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning Tobago. Good morning Tobago. Good morning Tobago.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.